with Jesus we'll be together forever, God's family. And sometimes we laugh together, sometimes we cry, sometimes we share together heartaches and sighs. Sometimes we dream together of how it will be when we all get to heaven, God's family. Please be seated.
This morning, things will be a little different than our usual Sunday. I'll have some thoughts. And then after our thoughts, we'll have another song. And then we'll have the Lord's Supper. And after the Lord's Supper, Darrell will make a presentation about the church, where we've been and where we're going. Then Lee will tell you a little bit about our finances. And then Dr. Walker will bring up our new deacons and shepherd, and they will be ordained today. And that's how we will do it today. Now, this is a great day. So just sit back, if you need to move around, get real comfortable. Okay? We're not no time limit up here. All right? Just chill out. And let's together as a church enjoy this day. All right? Let's just enjoy it. Let's enjoy being together. Let's enjoy hearing about what God has done, what He can do, and what He will do. And let's just milk this. You don't have days like this very, very often. So we go over a little bit, forget it. I know some of you, your attention span's 20 minutes, but you'll go home and watch a blooming ball game for 2 hours. Isn't that amazing how that works? Oh, by the way, I got to say this and I'll get started. I want to tell you about your preacher here. We're coming back. We've gone over to the graveside service at Nina's, and he says, I heard that when you get a building paid off, that you put an eagle on the building. And he says, are we going to put an eagle in the church? Well, it didn't dawn on me. It didn't dawn on me till I get home, and I thought, he's wanting a war eagle in this church. I told him, I said, good try. Good try. In the book of Joshua that guides my thinking today, in Joshua 24, Joshua is standing before the people. You see, what we do today is biblical, what we're going to do. Often in the Old Testament, what you would see happen is that God would call the people together, or a man of God would call the people together and remind the people of what God had done. And that's what Joshua does in Joshua 24. The people are gathered, and in verses 1 through about verse 12 and 13 of that chapter, he just goes back in the past. And he says, you remember when God did this? You remember when God did that? You remember when God did this? And then we're going to conclude our thoughts with what the challenge he gave to them at the end of that lesson. And after that, the Bible says that Joshua died. So I gave some thought about what to say today in this special occasion. And I thought, well, what would I say? If I was maybe like Joshua, and here I am having been a part of the history of this church for like 45 years, lived it, know a lot about the history before that, having been a shepherd for 8 years, having preached for over 50 years, and having been able to see example after example of godly men and women in this church. And having lived in May for 73 years, you know, you start looking at your life and you say, hey, I'm in the fourth quarter. And who knows? You don't know what's going on inside of you. Who knows? You may be in the last minutes of the fourth quarter. According to the Bible, I'm in overtime. All right? And I thought, if this would be the last time I would address this church as a former preacher, if this would be the last time that I address this church as a shepherd, what would I say? What would I say to the church, and what would I say to our leadership, our deacons and our elders today, and what would I say to the new deacons and the new elder that's coming? So I said, knowing what I know now, what would I challenge them with? Well, it's simple. But here's what I would challenge you with that I think is significant. And especially you new guys coming in, what I say is so important, so very important. So I want to challenge you today, challenge this church and challenge the leadership and the future leadership. I want to challenge you, first of all, this. I want to challenge you to live the life, to set the example. Live the life and set the example. In Acts chapter 6, where they're going to choose deacons because the widows were being neglected, there is something said about these men who were to be chosen as deacons. It says they were to be men of good reputation.